The courtroom was already alive before the gavel ever came down, not with arguments or accusations, but with something far less predictable, the pure, unstoppable energy of 5 children wedged into the front row of Providence Municipal Court. A plastic firefighter helmet bobbed above the wooden bench. A giggle rippled left to right, then back again, as if the kids had rehearsed it. They hadn't. This was just Wednesday morning, 10:12 a.m., and chaos had arrived early. Judge Frank Caprio leaned back in his chair, eyebrows raised, a smile already tugging at the corner of his mouth. He'd seen a lot in this courtroom: tears, fury, desperation, relief, but this was new. 5 kids, 1 mom, and a toy hat that seemed to have its own agenda. Inspector Quinn stood near the clerk's desk, arms crossed, trying very hard to look serious. "Your Honor," he said, voice tight with mock authority, "I may need to arrest that hat. It's clearly a flight risk." The judge chuckled. "Let's give it a warning first, Inspector. We're a court of mercy." The gallery, a small crowd of early morning onlookers, murmured with delight. They could sense it already. This wasn't going to be a typical hearing. This was going to be something else entirely. And if you're watching this unfold right now, wherever you are in the world, drop a comment and let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe to Order in the Court, because you're not going to want to miss what happens next. The case that would come to be remembered as Judge Caprio can't stop laughing after mom brings 5 kids to court was about to begin. Inspector Quinn cleared his throat and glanced down at the docket. "Calling the matter of Katie," he announced, his voice cutting through the low hum of whispers. "Citation for speeding, 1 mile per hour over the limit." Katie stood. She was composed, or at least trying to be, wearing a tired but determined expression that every parent in the room recognized immediately. She smoothed her sweater, took a breath, and moved toward the podium. Behind her, the children stirred like a tiny, unpredictable weather system. Owen, the oldest at 6, was attempting to tie his little brother's shoe. Alex, 5 years old, and clearly the ringleader, was whispering something urgent to the twins Anya and Eric, both 3, who were nodding solemnly as if receiving classified intelligence. And then there was Esme, barely a year and a half, clutching a stuffed giraffe and staring up at the high ceiling with the kind of wonder usually reserved for planetariums. Judge Caprio watched them all with the patience of a man who understood exactly what he was looking at. "Good morning, Katie," he said warmly. "I see you brought the whole crew today." Katie smiled, a little sheepish. "I'm sorry, Your Honor. Babysitter called in sick, and my husband's out of town. I didn't have a choice." "No apology necessary," the judge replied. "In fact, I think they might be the best-behaved audience we've had all week." Right on cue, Alex dropped the firefighter helmet. It clattered to the floor, rolled 3 feet, and came to rest against the bench. The twins erupted in giggles. Esme clapped.
Inspector Quinn pinched the bridge of his nose. The judge grinned. "Let's get started before we lose them completely." He glanced down at the file in front of him. The details were straightforward, almost boring in their simplicity. Katie had been cited for driving 1 mile per hour over the posted speed limit on a residential street. No prior violations, clean record. She'd been on her way to pick up Owen from school, running late because Esma had refused her nap, and the twins had staged a rebellion over lunch. "So," Judge Caprio said, looking up at her, "you were going 1 mile over. That's pretty precise. Were you racing someone?" Katie laughed softly. "No, Your Honor. I was just trying to get to the school on time. I didn't even realize I was speeding." "And how did that work out?" "I was late anyway." The gallery chuckled. Even Inspector Quinn cracked a smile. Judge Caprio nodded thoughtfully. 5 kids, he said, almost to himself. That's a lot of schedules. A lot of shoes to tie, a lot of snacks to pack. A lot of everything, Katie admitted. The judge let the moment settle. He wasn't interested in punishment for its own sake. He was interested in people, their stories, their struggles, the small human details that made the law something more than just words on paper. And right now, those details were sitting in the front row, buzzing with barely contained energy. "Tell me," he said, turning his attention to the children, "which one of you is the talker?" 5 hands shot up. Inspector Quinn muttered something under his breath that sounded like, "Of course." Judge Caprio laughed. "All right, how about this? Who wants to help me today?" Alex's hand went higher. "Me! Me!" "Come on up here, Alex." The boy scrambled out of his seat, nearly tripping over Owen's leg, and made his way to the bench. The judge leaned down, his face level with Alex's. "You ever been in a courtroom before?" "Nope." "What do you think so far?" Alex looked around, taking it all in. The high ceiling, the flag, the polished wood, the people watching. "It's big," he said finally. "It is big. And do you know what we do here? You decide stuff." "That's right. We decide what's fair. And today, I might need your help deciding what's fair for your mom. Think you can handle that?" Alex nodded, suddenly serious. The judge reached over and picked up the plastic firefighter helmet from where it had rolled. He placed it gently on Alex's head. "There. Now you're official." The courtroom erupted in quiet laughter. Even Katie, still standing at the podium, couldn't help but smile. Inspector Quinn stepped forward, playing his role to perfection. "Your Honor, I object. The witness is clearly biased." "Overruled," the judge said, waving a hand. "This is my courtroom, Inspector, and I'll take all the help I can get." He turned back to Alex. "Now, your mom got a ticket for going 1 mile over the speed limit. Do you know what that means?" "She was going too fast." "Just a little too fast. 1 mile. That's like if you were supposed to walk 10 steps, but you walked 11. Not a big deal, right?" Alex thought about it. "Right. But rules are still rules. So here's my question. What do you think we should do? Should your mom pay a fine? Should she have to come back to court? Or should we just let her go with a warning?" Alex looked back at his mom, then at the judge, then at Inspector Quinn, who was doing his best to look stern. The twins were whispering again. Owen was trying to shush them. Esme had somehow acquired someone's pen and was gently chewing on it.
Alex said slowly, "How much money?" "Well, it could be a small fine, maybe $50. Alex's eyes widened. "That's a lot." "It is a lot. What else could we do?" "Court costs?" Alex tried, clearly parroting something he'd heard. "That's an option. Or 5 days in jail?" The gallery gasped, then laughed. Inspector Quinn looked up at the ceiling as if praying for strength. Judge Caprio shook his head, still smiling. No, we're not sending your mom to jail for going 1 mile over, but I like that you're thinking it through." He leaned in closer, his voice gentle. "Here's the thing, Alex. Rules are important. They keep us safe. But sometimes we also have to think about why someone broke a rule. Your mom wasn't speeding because she wanted to. She was trying to pick up your brother. She's taking care of you and your sisters. That matters. So what do you think? Should we be strict or should we be kind?" Alex looked at his mom again. She was watching him with a mix of pride and amusement. "Kind," he said quietly. "I think so too. Now, can you say something for me? Say, 'My mom was 1 mile over, please dismiss.'" Alex took a breath. "My mom was 1 mile over, please dismiss." The judge straightened up, his expression shifting into something more formal, more official. "Well, Alex, I think you're right. I'm going to dismiss this case. Your mom has a clean record. She was doing her best, and I don't think we need to make her life any harder than it already is with 5 of you running around." The gallery applauded softly. Katie exhaled, relief washing over her face. Judge Caprio picked up his gavel and handed it to Alex. "You want to do the honors?" Alex gripped the gavel with both hands and brought it down with a solid thunk. "Case dismissed." The courtroom erupted. The twins cheered. Owen clapped. Esme waved the giraffe. Inspector Quinn shook his head, but he was smiling too. Judge Caprio looked at Katie. You're free to go. Just keep an eye on that speedometer, all right? And maybe get yourself a clone or two. Katie laughed. I'll try, Your Honor. Thank you. As she turned to gather her children, the judge called out one more time. Katie? Wait. One more thing. She paused. I have 5 kids too. So believe me when I say I understand. You're doing great. For a moment, the courtroom was quiet. It was a small thing, a simple acknowledgement, but it meant everything. Inspector Quinn, sensing an opportunity, looked down at the children. All right, team, since you just ran my courtroom, I think you owe me a raise. What do you say? 5 voices shouted in unison. No! The gallery roared. Katie herded her children toward the exit, counting heads as she went. 1, 2, 3, 4. She stopped. Where was the helmet? Alex had left it on the bench. Judge Caprio picked it up and walked over, handing it to the boy with a wink. Can't forget your equipment, Inspector Alex. Alex grinned and put it back on his head. As the family disappeared through the double doors, the courtroom slowly returned to its usual rhythm. But the warmth lingered, the laughter lingered, and the memory of 5 kids and one very patient judge lingered most of all. So here's the question for you. What would your little judge say? Guilty or not? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Order in the Court for moments like this one, because sometimes justice isn't just about the law. It's about mercy, humor, and remembering that we're all just doing our best. Dramatization for storytelling and education, not legal advice or reporting.